Welcome to everyone who are watching us now. Welcome to this new episode of The Next, where we will talk about possibilities, we'll talk about where we want to go, and we will talk about all the potentials that we have in our country, in the young souls. For this, Zulha Zubair, your presenter, is here, and I have three interesting guests who I want you all to be introduced with. From the right, I'll start the introduction. I have Guy Meldrum, who's the Regional Director of BAT Asia Pacific and Middle East. We have Rumana Rahman, who's the Regional Head of HR, BAT Asia Pacific and Middle East. We have Shehzad Munim, and I'm very proud to say he's the Managing Director of BAT Bangladesh, one of the person that I admire a lot. First of all, three of you, welcome to my show.
Thank you.
Thank
you for having us.
Yeah, you're most welcome. So you must be having a question in your mind, what's the next, right? So the next thing, I'll start from Guy, is that it's not the first time that you're in Bangladesh, right? You've been here before. So what are the basic things that you like most about Bangladesh?
It's my third time here. I think there's two or three things. The first is the vibrancy, the energy, the passion of the people. That's really the chaos, but all of that really creates a young energy, which you really enjoy coming to Bangladesh.
All right, that's really lovely. And on that note, as Bangladesh is a youth-driven country, what do you look at? How do you look at the talent of Bangladesh, the young talent? How do you look at it?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think two things. The first is their resilience, their ability to cope and overcome the challenges, and the second thing is a natural passion and energy and enthusiasm for driving their careers forward.
Fantastic. Then we have another young soul over here, Rumana Rahman, who has made us proud. You've been working with BAT for a very long time, and you've been everywhere, literally. And being the regional head of HR, you're taking care of 35 countries. How do you manage? What's the key power source of your energy? How do you do that?
To be honest, it's not easy. I've been doing this job for over a year. But I have to say
The
this.
word easy itself is not easy, actually.
Yeah, exactly. But it's been, I think, the most rewarding experiences of my, career. Vast job, extremely demanding, but extremely fulfilling. What works is having a good team with you and having the trust over the team and making them empowered in what they are doing.
Fantastic. I love that basically this is how the leaders work. They give credit to the team as well. So Shehzad Munim, on that note, you've been working with BAT for a long time. It's been more than 20 years. You started as a trainee. You work hard or work smart. We don't know. Basically, you'd be sharing that with us. What has been the key secret of the success? And how does that make you feel?
Being curious, that's what I would say. Explore new things every day. Poke your nose into things that normally you wouldn't. And try to learn as much as you can. First years of your life, just keep learning. That's the main focus.
Poking nose everywhere organization, if they don't allow you, then you're in a mess.
That's what BAT is different. I think our doors are always open. Anybody showing curiosity on doing new things, exploring new ideas, or even taking a plunge into an area where it's not your expertise. So we had engineers as marketing heads. So these are pretty common in BAT.
Well, you have an engineer here as your host. That's what about Bangladeshis. That is why Bangladesh, we are special. Well, on that note, as young people are driving Bangladesh to the next level, and that is why we have this title called The Next. The government is trying a lot to encourage the youth, to educate them, to promote them, to do something better for this nation. How do you see the private sector can add up to this pace?
Any nation who has succeeded in this world has utilized their resources in the most efficient manner. And if you look at Bangladesh, one resource we have in plenty is people and young people. The demographic dividend that we have, it's not going to last for long, to be honest. We need to work really fast to really skill up our people as fast as we can to face the challenges coming forward. Government is taking a lot of initiatives, obviously, but if you look at the role of a government, it's to create the ambience, the right atmosphere, introduce policies which are helpful. And then it's up to the private sector to make best use of these facilities. And if you look at our country, there are a lot of good examples. There are garments factories which are one of the best in the world. If you look at a few of the multinationals, they're doing really well and actually exporting talent from Bangladesh. Example is BAT. So if you put in the right disciplines and you actually are utilizing the facilities, so we run the second largest company in this country, British American Tobacco, we have only 4 foreigners. So it's 100% almost run by local talent. And we get it from the local system, and we groom them, we train them. And it's not only the managers. The biggest pride that I take is now we've been able to crack into the workforce, our factory workers. Would you believe we are sending our people to 5 countries in the world
Really?
as trainers? So they teach on efficiencies, how to run machines at a super fast machines, how to actually make best use
The,
of
the
resources.
factory level workers.
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely.
Let me readdress it for my viewers. The one you are watching me now, it's a matter of pride for us because we are sending our manpower to 5 countries to train them. Isn't it amazing? Isn't it the next Bangladesh? Munim, sorry for interrupting. You were saying something.
And those nations are not backward nations. I'm sending people to Poland, Singapore, Indonesia, Fiji, Papua New Guinea.
Wow.
These are the countries where our people are on a regular basis now going, training their people and coming back. So if you set a vision that you want to be world class and you provide the right tools, right training and the right coaching, our people can rise up to the international level. I have no doubt about that.
You were a good example of it.
Yes.
And so is Rumana. Rumana, so straight back to you. Being a woman reaching such height and basically holding a position like you were holding, what would you basically tell to encourage the young female talents of Bangladesh, or what would be your suggestion for them?
I would say, what I did, work hard, that's the basic. Second is self-belief and confidence. I think that's the most important thing that our nation needs, both male and female. I think female more. Believe in yourself, believe in what you can do, believe in your dreams, and then relentlessly work towards it.
So two things, work smart or work hard? Which one?
I think both. You need both, yeah? As
Right.
you go up, you need both, yeah?
Yes.
To
Lovely.
manage teams, to manage organization, manage stakeholders, you need both.
Interesting. Guy, on that note, basically, what would you do to develop this young talent of Bangladesh? As Munim was mentioning, we have a very high potential. What would you do from your point?
Yeah, I think, that, as these guys are saying, I think the natural answer is skill development and regular skill development. You need to do it at the entry level, you need to during their career. And BAT Bangladesh is really good at doing this. We give functional training, leadership training. And I think one of the unique differences at BAT Bangladesh is that we're giving people exposure to different countries, different ways of working. But Romana hit the nail on the head. The real thing that you can do as a leader is give people self-belief and confidence, and combine that with the point that Shehzad raised, which is encourage self-learning. The more we can get people learning, that will accelerate that journey of our Bangladeshi talent.
Fantastic. Guy, you started at a very early age. How many years has it been with BAT?
On and off, 25, 26, a long time. I started exactly the same as Shehzad.
More than 2 decades.
Yes.
So what did drive you to join BAT? What was the main idea? Why did you want to join?
I thought BAT was an excellent employer in terms of offering an international career. And for me, that was the primary reason to join BAT.
So you are a person who loves to travel, and that's why you joined BAT, is it so?
I certainly love to travel now. I spend my life on aeroplanes. But I think, seriously, I think really the training and development was also what appealed. And that is true now as it was back a long, long time ago when I was starting my career.
Fantastic. I believe on that note, we'd love to take a small break, and we'll return to all of you after that short break. Do stay with us, and the viewers who are watching us now, stay with us, and we're returning shortly. Welcome back once again. You're watching The Next, and here's Zulha Zubair with you. And I have 2 of my very interesting guests. Guy Meldam, who's the Regional Director of BAT Asia Pacific and Middle East. So we have Rumana Rahman, who's the Regional Head of HR, BAT Asia Pacific and Middle East. And we also have our own Shehzad Munim, who's the Managing Director of BAT Bangladesh. So Guy was mentioning that he joined for traveling around the world. And what makes you join BAT? Is it something interesting like him?
It was always the car.
So you joined
Such
BAT for car.
honesty.
So a young graduate coming out of the university. So you look at all the options that you have. This job offers a car for yourself to drive around. So I didn't have much of an idea what the exact job entitled. But then we all applied. And thankfully, it was very interesting. We all, from the BBA first batch of Dhaka University, 8 of us applied, the brave ones. BAT actually picked all
Basically
of
the
us.
ones who love the car.
Yes. So all of us actually got in. I stuck around. I think then the most important thing is once you got hooked into the car and the job and the whole thing. But then you start, why have I stayed 22 years? That's the main question, I guess.
Yeah, well, you must be a very good driver. Then again, my question would be, how was the road?
The road was interesting. The job was interesting. Obviously, you are, from day one, you will be posted out of the Dhaka city into any location. And that was the beauty of it. And my father actually pushed me that go for it. You've stayed all your life in Dhaka. Enjoy the life outside of Dhaka and actually see the country and the people. And I think that was the best advice because you actually go out of your comfort zone. You get to see what the real life actually gets to offer you. And you learn to work with people. And that's the most important thing. Day one, I had about 100 people working with me in the sales and distribution setup. And people who are very experienced in the job they do. And the leadership role starts from there. So it's a very exciting job, being outside on your own and leading so many people, giving direction. And that's what started it off. And then the 22 years, I've never been bored in this job.
Shehzad Munim, is it the first time that you started leading a team just like that, 100 brand new people? Who are you working with? Is it the first experience, or your organization somehow helped you to be trained in such a way?
You are thrown into the deep end. You have a little bit of hand-holding, but then again, you are thrown into the deep end. You learn as you go, and there is coaching. Obviously, there you have a line manager. They actually help you. You have peers who actually help you settle down. But then again, it's the by doing experience.
Yes.
If you are in the field, that's the best experience you have early in your career.
That's the best thing about the job. The starting job has such empowerment. Yeah, you almost general
Don't
manager
tell me,
of the
Rumana, you
territory.
started for empowering yourself. He started for traveling around the world. He loved car. And what did you love?
I loved, the fact that they were taking women for a change, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Because, BAT was one of the first companies started to take graduates in very good roles other than, the roles who would be a bit of back office, yeah. And that inspired me that, they were ready to take a risk with people like us who wanted to be a little more adventurous with their career.
Lovely. And Rumana just mentioned the key factors, the key things that young ones should learn to keep the pace with the world. What would be your suggestion? What would be the 3 basic significant learnings they need to have?
I think the first is their attitude, this
Being
mindset. Cool. I'm sure they've all got that, but the mindset of being a self-starter, being a self-learner, and really understanding that in this fast-paced world, how you can adapt to different situations is actually the key to understanding. I think Shehzad mentioned a great point, his point about how do you work with each other, this idea of collaboration. In the new world, collaboration and teamwork is so important. And the third point, Rumana's already alluded to a few times, which is how do you actually instill self-belief and self-confidence when you're dealing with such challenging environments? And I think they're 3 of the key points that the new graduates need to do, besides wanting a car.
Is there anything else beside these 3 and loving the car that young ones should do to take them to the next global level where you're basically working?
I think the more that you can get experience dealing with the complexity of different cultures, because it's obviously very different in Dakar to how it is in Korea. It's very different in Dakar to how it is in the UK. But the more that people can gain that experience early on in their career, it means that they're able to adapt to those more challenging situations as they go forward with their career. And we have two exports now. We have Shehzad worked with us in Australia and New Zealand. Obviously, Ramana and I work together in Hong Kong, and we work all over Asia Pacific. So we have, I'm very proud that we have 2 BAT Bangladesh exports who sit on the Asia Pacific Middle East leadership team. It's wonderful. It's fantastic.
Lovely. That even makes us feel proud. So, Shehzad Munim, car, the job, and the key 3 learnings. Is there anything else that the young ones should follow?
I would say self-respect and self-confidence, whatever you call it. So if I reflect back my days when I was first posted to New Zealand, getting on that plane, I was thinking I'm going to a developed world, beautiful place, and all I would do is for the next 2-3 years learn a lot more and come back with that knowledge. Landing in New Zealand, in 3 months, I figured out, well, I have a lot to contribute there, because the things that we are doing in Bangladesh were far, far ahead in certain areas, but there were certain areas in New Zealand they were far, far ahead. So it's a learning experience both ways. And you take that opportunity to learn and also to contribute at the same time. Never underestimate yourself that you are in a third world country and suddenly you will go to a first world country. You have only to learn.
All right.
That's what Guy was about to talk about, that you work in different atmosphere, different challenges, and the adaptability of yourself improves as you move cross-culture to different locations and work with different style of people. Yeah? And that adaptability is the one that really, really makes you strong enough to survive in the global world. That's what we need to practice here. And it starts with very simple things. If you are only in Dhaka and living in a very small little area and not venturing out and actually seeing what a fisherman does in a remote part of Bangladesh, and then you are not embracing diversity, the different culture, and the experience of life. I think that's what I think we all need to seriously work on, and that only prepares you for the rest of the world.
Lovely. Ramana, on that note, BAT has been playing an amazing role in grooming the next generation leaders or developing them in a different level. So if there is a scope of cross-industry initiative in spirit, like how would you mention how BAT is playing the role?
Okay. I think the in spirit that you just mentioned is British American Tobacco has always been leading and pioneering in developing women. Yeah, we are the first company to put women in remote locations. You know, in our trade marketing, also in factory management roles. You know, I mean factory supervisory roles. Yeah, so and to support that, we had many initiatives like, our first daycare, gender diversity initiatives, unconscious bias, which exist in the organization, ODA, transport policy, whole log of things that we did. I think with InSpirit, we are combining hands with, 6 organizations Grameen, Nestle, Unilever, HSBC, Standard Chartered, and these kind of companies to come together. Because as Guy said, to collaborate, to make sure that we can take young women more. And they're working in 3 major areas. The one is how we collaborate together to have infrastructural facilities that are missing by design in our country, like hygiene, like housing, accommodation in beyond Dhaka locations.
Because women working outside Dhaka, that becomes very crucial for them. Excuse me. That becomes very crucial for them. So yeah, that's a very good initiative.
That's a support we are trying to collaborate. Second is, as I said, they probably need little bit more self-belief and confidence. So we're doing this mentoring program, cross-industry mentoring program, to instill that self-belief in them. Because, look, when I was young, I never thought I'll come and do this job, Some people had faith in me, worked on me, and picked me up for these jobs out of just belief. So that, I think, helped a lot. The third, I think they are trying to do is to have more knowledge sharing within these companies so that they share best practice among them and make sure that each company adopts each other's.
Lovely. Guy, is it the same case back in Australia or back in the outer-developed world? Are there scopes like this, or what would be your suggestion if anyone wants to, any other country wants to deploy this in-spirit thing that you're having in Bangladesh?
I think Ramana really hit the nail on the head. I think it's 2 or 3 things. The first is this networking. So you're pulling a group of people together and actually sharing experiences, because everyone's going through that same experience, and learning that you're not by yourself, and actually learning together. The second thing is actually what private organisations need to do and contribute, and that's why the work that BAT Bangladesh is doing, not just within Spirit but also our gender diversity policies, is so important. And I think in the developed world there is more work of that, but there's still a long way to go. We still, Ramana and I are both working very hard on improving in Asia Pacific Middle East the work that we're doing. Have we got enough women leaders in the key roles? We still have a lot of work to go. So I don't think it's just a developed and a developing world issue. I think it's a much broader issue across, and it's a global one that we need to work on.
On that note, more and more female employees are getting employment in BAT. Probably that's not the case with other companies working in Bangladesh. What would be your suggestion to the companies who are basically recruiting new women in position like Rumana is holding? What would be your suggestion for them?
I think BAT Bangladesh is trying to role model. We're obviously trying to support the government's STI initiative. So from my perspective, there's some good examples of some of the work that we're doing. And I would look at some of that work and try to encourage them to be more consistent. And to be more proactive in that area. We genuinely see that the benefit we get commercially from having more females in our teams, and also that, as we can see with Ramana, that they're doing a good job in terms of their leadership.
All right, lovely. I believe on that note, I would love to take a short break, and we'll come back and we'll add up more to this story. Viewers, you're watching The Next. We're taking a short break and returning shortly. Stay tuned. Welcome back once again to The Next. Zula Zubair is here with you, and I have two of my very smiley guests I would rather mention. We are having a lot of smiles over here, a lot of laughter. Basically, we have Guy Meldrum, who's the Regional Director of BAT Asia Pacific and Middle East. We have Rumana Rahman, who's the Regional Head of HR, BAT Asia Pacific and Middle East. And we have Shahzad Munim, who's the Managing Director of BAT Bangladesh. Like, where we stop? I'll start from Shahzad Munim this time for you. Basically, how do you see BAT Bangladesh performance in area of corporate governance and responsible business practices, and how else can BAT Bangladesh contribute as a partner towards Bangladesh's growth?
I think I would say we are very happy that in 2019 we got about 10 awards on the area, we call it ESG, environmental, societal, and mainly governance. Governance is very important because it's all about trust and stakeholders put in a company. And it's very difficult to build. It takes time. You cannot build trust overnight. You have to work at it for a very long period of time. But one or two mistakes, the trust can go away just like that. Okay. So that's why I think we put a lot of focus on ensuring governance and the confidence of our consumers, our stakeholders, our shareholders, everybody, to make sure that we are actually operating within the law, and sometimes being extra vigilant and having the own company protocols that actually make sure you actually abide by and run with the integrity. So it's very, very important for any organization to focus on these areas. In BAT Bangladesh, what we believe is that we try to be better than yesterday. Okay, so if you are having that as a philosophy, you're continuously improving yourself. We have won quite a few awards. The most prestigious ones are the ones that the ICMAB and ICAB, and now they have also started the South Asia Award, which is a SAFA Award. So these are very, very prestigious awards from our context point of view, and we've been winning that for many years now. The key to that success is basically believing in that better than yesterday. Because we know everybody is chasing us. Everybody wants that award. They want to be the number one. But we have to be better than last year. So we continue to strive ourselves for excelling in that area. And we believe the way we try to do things we set the standard for the industry so that others could actually follow and come close to us. So we take a lot of pride in doing that. But overall, I would probably say a big thanks to these institutions who are continuously recognizing good effort in ESG in Bangladesh. And that inspires people, that gives a lot of credibility. And you can see any organization who wins these awards, next day it's on the newspapers and all the
Everyone
media.
gets to know about them.
Absolutely. They proudly talk about it. And that builds the confidence of an organization. And for a country like ours, these are most important. Because if you look at Bangladesh, the narrative out there is not very consistent. Sometimes it's about the negatives, sometimes a flash of brilliance. It's about the consistency of the message that we need to work on as a whole. And the business community needs to play a big role in there.
Fantastic. Munim, you were just saying the sweet things. So let's come to the reality. It's a reality check. You're being a person with a very big smile. You're smiling all the time. What keeps you charged up? What gives you such energy?
Cricket.
All right.
I'm a big fan of cricket. You can say crazy. Every Friday, we play cricket with other corporates, sometimes friends. We play even in April in the middle of a lot of heat. You don't get too many people to play with you. But the most important thing is I play with my team, which is made of my company. And it's even the factory worker to the managing director. Anybody's in that team. And I open the innings in batting, and my opening partner is a machine operator.
Lovely.
So that is the bond that keeps us going. I think we exchange a lot of ideas, a bit of cultural differences go away. People feel a lot of energy in it. And I also get to work out a little bit, if I don't get out early, that is.
Lovely. I believe I would love to share that with my viewers. I was asking Munim what keeps him energized. He said one thing, he plays cricket twice a year, from January to June and July to December. And he plays with his team, who are basically your fellow colleagues, regardless of which position they hold on. That basically somehow develops the team spirit and team bonding. Rumana, is it the same with you? You play cricket too?
No, I don't play cricket because, Shehzad doesn't allow to play, people to play anything else. The ground is, ruled by him on the cricket. Little bit of football these days. Look, for downtime, I think my kids are a big downtime let out for me. And I think if you have kids, they can be very therapeutic after a day's
Lots of
work, and they
positive
keep you
energy.
energy. Yeah, and especially if you have small ones, they have so many curious questions. And they give you another purpose in life when you meet them after work. So,
well, in cases people do say having kids and returning back to the corporate life is not the same thing again, what would be your suggestion for them?
look, I think I would say it's for your kids you should come back, because when you come you work. My girls are my daughter, the elder one is 12, the younger one is 5. The elder one is, so proud of me. She talks high of me, and she looks up to me. Yeah. So it's just how you wanna build your children up to be strong individuals, to be resilient individuals. So I think it's for your children, your family. You should come back. Of course, you have to find a way to manage kids, the network support of the family, little bit of, again, belief and courage to leave them behind in good hands. You
So
have
no
to work
credit
out.
for the
You
better
have to-
half.
I give a lot of credit to my better half, by the way, and I tell always he's the cheerleader, and we need cheerleaders.
He does
all
a
the
great
way.
job. He does a great job. I know him well. He does a great job.
Yes, yes. I would say he does really a great job in at least keeping the mental sanity. Not so much operationally, to be honest, but that mental sanity is big. And I tell young girls, don't quit, immediately, because we overthink. We overthink that our kids are not, doing well. If I'm home, kids do better. Research actually says, if the mother's home, kids act up, 100 times more than they would if the mother's not home, So all those things I tell young girls to keep going, and trying to increase and maximize the network support so that they're able to come
But
to
that's
work.
why companies have to, like ours, have to do so much to help women.
Definitely.
That's why we have to create networks. That's
Set
why
the
we have to,
example,
yes, we have
show
to,
them the way.
We have to provide the services because that way in Bangladesh, more and more women will continue and progress their careers and be as successful as Romana is today. It's so important, the work that private organisations have to do.
Guy, you were taking the conversation to a different angle, though I wanted to know what keeps you energized. I believe he doesn't person wants to share the secret.
No, no, no. Well, actually, we all work together, so I'm sure these guys will tell you what keeps me energised. I think it's very simple. For me, at this stage of my career, it's actually the development of the people. I see what happens with my leadership group and the development that comes from them over, 12, 18 months, 24 months. And that for me, when you're travelling around as much as I do and you go to 20 or 30 places in a 2 or 3 month period, seeing the development of the people is actually what gives you energy, and seeing those people thrive and deliver such fantastic results.
How many miles it has been? 10 million miles already or no?
This year, I think I've done 10 or 12 or 15 countries already, so
Lovely.
quite a few.
Quite a few. Interesting. We're almost at the end of the discussion. Shazad Munim, I'll refer back to you with a serious note. Being the ex-FICCI president, how can Bangladesh benefit from the fourth industrial revolution that we're going through, and what can private sector do in this?
Fourth industrial revolution, the moment you say it, it sounds scary. Okay,
Yeah, I said that's why it's on a
I try to
serious
keep
note.
it simple. It means technology actually enabling us to do things faster, better. Okay, it has happened in the past as well.
There is a saying that we would be losing more jobs. People would be losing more
That's
jobs.
another perspective as well, and I can actually have a positive perspective that technology is enabling us to do things faster and better. So in the past it has happened. Also, you actually cut a tree with an axe, now you have a chainsaw, next you have a robot who will do it. The perspective is most important, okay? That change will come and we have to embrace change. The only difference is the change is coming much faster. In the past, it was a little bit slow. You could see the change coming. The change is coming much faster and a much bigger scope. But human beings will always have something else to do, something better, value-added things to do. And we have to prepare for it and prepare much faster. Okay? It's the perspective that you take. Is it an opportunity or a threat? I think at BAT, we believed that as an opportunity. And we are adapting to it, to be honest. Our machines, our technology has been changing rapidly in the factory. We had to move to slow speed machines to seriously high speed machines with a lot of technology in it. And we had to prepare a workforce. What we did is we embarked a very nice change program, IWS, Integrated Work Systems. And the way we trained our people, and we saw people, majority are reacting very positively to it. We are seeing them actually able to identify defects and solve the problem themselves on the floor. So they are becoming technicians almost. Okay, so you actually give them the ropes, they learn, they move. Of course, there will be a few who would probably not cope with the change because of age, difference in psychology, or whatever. But you then just don't chuck them out and into the street. You also, as a responsible company, try to find a solution for them. Upskill them in a different way so that they can find jobs in other industries or start up as an SME. Okay. That is exactly the path that we have taken, and we are being successful, as you have just heard from me, that we are able to send people abroad as trainers, and we can actually grow the people. That's the attitude we have to take about fourth industrial revolution in Bangladesh, and I think it is an opportunity, not a threat.
How does a HR guy looks at the fourth industrial revolution? What would she add up to this?
Look, if you ask me and Guy, we always had a problem that there are 4 jobs and we have 1 person. Yeah, so it's not like we have 4 people and 4 jobs. We are struggling again and again with getting the right person for the job. Yeah, so I would say it's still we haven't come to a point there is a dearth of roles. There is a dearth of capable individuals, and I really say this to graduates. It's not good enough to be a graduate, but it has to be a skill graduate. Yeah, and by skill graduate, I mean you apply your theoretical knowledge. Yeah, we are still a very academic education system. We got to be able to find a way where graduates learn to apply the theory. Like the key principles of marketing, it's not good enough to know there are 5 or whatever, 7, but it's important to know how that works in an FMCG, in a service sector, in a startup, visualize, and then work towards it, because that's the biggest crisis, I think, is in Bangladesh, I think more specifically in Bangladesh, is the bridge between theoretical knowledge to practical needs that the companies are having. So that is a bridge we have to close and have more skilled graduates who then quickly can cope up. Otherwise, I think more and more that's why we'll adapt technology even faster because the solution of the humans are not coming. Yeah, that's where I see, I think opportunity lies a lot. There are lots of opportunities we are doing, like hubs in Malaysia, in Costa Rica, in Poland, where we have these back offices, yeah, and there are huge opportunities there. There's huge opportunities, I think, in Philippines, in Asia, many parts of Asia. But our graduates have to cope up with that practical bit of that learning to make themselves, apt to those jobs.
It's the soft skills and leadership. We need to help them, and the more we can teach them soft skills and leadership early on in their careers, that's the real challenge. And moving the theory, the technical, and learning that quickly. But if we can help them become better leaders earlier, rather than get thrown in at the deep end like Shehzad and I did all that time ago, I think there's massive potential for Bangladeshi talent.
So I would try to twist it in a different way. Shehzad and you, the way you had mentors, so the next generation is having better mentors than you had. Is it so?
I think that's true.
So you're a good person. That is how we will conclude. Thank you
Future
very
is
much.
brighter.
I can vet that.
All right, thank you very much to these three lovely person I have had here with today to have the discussion with. We talked a lot serious thing, but you made it so easy for my viewers that I believe they'll be enjoying. And best of luck for three of you, and do make us smile like this in a corporate world. I believe your fellow colleagues would be looking up to that. Thank you very much to all of you. Viewers, the one who were connected with this show till now, one thing that I would love to point to you, the change is coming, the next is not the next. When I say next, it's already gone. Be prepared, prepare yourself for the next change. That's it. Goodbye.